I'll give you another story. I got stories for everything that I learned, you know. I had a big automobile dealership, and I had an office that was on the second floor. It was overlooking the car lot, big Chevrolet dealer. One of the guys who worked for me was out one day in the lot, and I see him having an argument with somebody, yelling back and forth, arguing. I don't pay attention. I go sit at my desk. A few minutes later, he comes upstairs. His name was Jerry. I said, Jerry, what's that argument about? He said, some guy says we sold him a lemon. He wanted his money back, and he's going back and forth. He called me a name. I called him a name. He says, and then he mentioned that he had a connected uncle, a brother-in-law, a connected brother-in-law. I said, well, what do you mean connected? He said, he didn't have anybody connected. He was just mouthing off. He said the guy's name was Mario. He said, so I told him, go F Mario and F you. And I said, Jerry, I told you don't talk like that. This is New York. You never know who he didn't know anybody. I said, well, you know somebody, right? Don't talk like that. No, don't worry about it. He don't know anybody. Okay. Next day, I get a call, another maid guy, a guy by the name of Tony the Gawk, we call him. He's a big guy. And he says, Mike, I got to see you. Please come into Brooklyn. So I just happened to say, Jerry, I don't feel like driving. I got to go into Brooklyn. We're on Long Island. Drive me. So we go into Brooklyn. We had a meet at a place called, it was on 18th Avenue. It was called the 19th Hole. There was a Chinese restaurant next to it. So we go in the back of the Chinese restaurant. Now here's what happened. The guy that I had to meet was another maid guy, but I never met him as a maid guy. So if you're a maid member of another family, I can't just go up to you and say, hey, I'm Michael Franzese. I'm maid with the Colombos. You're so-and-so. You're maid with the Bonanos. We had to have somebody that knew us both introduce us.
Got it.
Right? Michael, Amiga Nostra, so-and-so, and then we can talk as maid guys. So Tony was that guy. So we go in the back of the room, and there's a big old-time guy, big guy there, and he's got two guys with him. And Tony says, Michael, Amiga Nostra, meaning a friend of ours, Mario. I said, Mario, that sounds familiar, right? So I sit down. I'm a young guy. He's an older guy. And he says, Mario, what could I do for you? He says, you got a guy by the name of Jerry Zimmerman with you? I said, yeah, I know Jerry. He pounds his hand on the table. He says, I want him dead. I said, whoa. I said, now I'm putting it together, Mario, the scene. So now I'm thinking, I said, okay, Mario, do me a favor. I got to go to the restroom. I had a long drive in from Long Island. Because here's the deal. If they knew Jerry was out there, and they bring Jerry to sit down, before I could prepare him and he says something wrong, I can't save him because I'm a maid guy, he's a maid guy, and we always have the right of way. So even if it was somebody under me, if he would have said something wrong, he's in trouble, in bad trouble.
What can you do anything to change that or no?
No, not if he said the wrong thing and he was disrespectful in any way or he answered wrong, I can't help him. That's just the way it goes. So I said, Mario, I got to go to the restroom. So I go outside. Jerry's by the bar. I said, Jerry, Mario's in there, and he's not happy. I said, get out of here. Go up the street to the diner. Wait for me, right? So he goes up to the street to the diner. Now I'm relaxed. I go back in. I says, Mario, what could I do for you? And he said, this guy was very disrespectful. This is my brother-in-law, and so on and so forth. And he says, he said, F me and all this kind of stuff. And I said, Mario, now you got to understand, I'm got to lie here. I said, Mario, your brother-in-law's not telling you the truth. I said, I was sitting by the window. I heard the whole thing. I said, Jerry never said that. Your brother-in-law's lying. How could you? I know my brother-in-law 20 years. He says, well, I know Jerry 20 years. We're going back and forth, and he says, well, I want to kill Jerry Zimmerman. I said, well, then I got to kill your brother-in-law. So what are we going to accomplish here? This is how it's...
This is literally how this is going.
This is literally. I mean, you would have thought it was a nuclear explosion. This was over. He said, well, I'm going to put him in a hospital. I said, well, I got to put your brother-in-law in a hospital. So what are we going to do? We're going to go back and forth with this thing, right? I'm telling you, Patrick, this went on for 3 hours because he was an old-timer. He wouldn't budge, not budge an inch, right? Now I'm saying, man, this is going to go all the way up to the boss. I said, we're going to have a whole production here. I said, Mario, tell me what you want. What do you want out of this? I said, no, don't even tell me. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to give your brother-in-law a new car. Tell him you won the argument, you won. I'll give him a new car, and I'll take care of Jerry. Well, I want Jerry in a hospital. I said, stop the hospital. So I'll take care of Jerry. He's my guy. Take the new car. Tell your brother-in-law you won. Whatever it is, you got it made. That's how I finally resolved it, right? But listen to this. I go out, and I'm yelling at Jerry and everything. And I said, Jerry, I don't trust this guy. I don't trust him. As you happen to be walking down the street and a safe falls on your head, I can't do it. So here's what I'm going to do. He said, what? As you got a brother out in California, I says, go out to California for a while, go relax out there. When I think everything's all right, I'll call you back. So and you gotta understand, Mario resented me because I'm 30 years younger than him. I'm a new guy, so he already don't like me for that reason alone. So Jerry goes out, and about 2 months later, he calls me up. He says, hey, Chief, he says, we're gonna be in the movie business. I said, what do you know about movies? Don't worry, it's easy. We got a script and all this kind of stuff. Don't worry about it. He says, send me $83,000, you'll be my partner. I said, all right. So I sent him $83,000, and we produced this movie called Mausoleum, which was a horror movie, right? P.S. The end result is $1 million later, we produced this movie, a horror movie that didn't scare anybody but me, I'll be honest with you. But that's how I backed into the movie business. And then from there, I realized right away, I'll tell you what, you remember Golan and Globus? Anybody remember that name? Peter Guber would have told you all about them. They were two guys, they had a company, and they were doing all of these, kind of exploitation films. So I spent $1 million on this film, so I go and see them. They had offices in New York. I said, hey, I got this film, we spent $1 million. And he said, okay. He said, we'll give you 25 grand. I said, I don't think you heard me. I said, I spent $1 million on this. He said, no, we'll give you 25 grand. That was it. So I said, no, thank you. So I take the film, but that's when I realized you had to be in the distribution business. So I bought a distribution company at that point, and that's how I started to get involved in the film business way back when. On an accident, on a mistake, because I didn't pay attention. I just sent them the money. I didn't look into anything. I didn't research anything. I just trusted Jerry, and I almost got destroyed on that film.
Did it end up being profitable?
It ended up being
Jerry?
profitable, yeah.
So saving Jerry's life made you money?
Yes. A lot of headaches, but it made me money, yes. It was worth saving his life.